Hey everybody, it is day number 6 of 366. So a short 360 days to go as I'm doing a Facebook Live every day for the next almost year to over a year total to reach people that are struggling with obesity. And this afternoon, I wrote an email to several people that were on my mind that, I've been trying to reach you is what I entitled it because I have. And, it reminds me, and I talk about this on every live because I want people to realize that where I come from, in 2017, I reached 304 pounds. Stood on the scale in my in my bathroom early in the morning. It was in March. It was actually March 2nd, the day after my 31st wedding anniversary. And I looked down at and saw 304. And what I saw was really not just 304, but at age 55, I believed I just was certain I had less than 10 years to live if I didn't do something drastic about my weight. And the challenge is that I'd failed on about 50 to 75 different diets. Many of them I'd failed multiple times. And it wasn't that I didn't know what to do. It was just that I couldn't do it. It was one of these blocks that I had that kept me from losing weight, but what happened that morning it wasn't that I, just figured out that I was morbidly obese. I already knew that. I was 5'11" at 304. You're a big boy. I had over 100 pounds to lose. And it was just this moment of realization that my weight was holding me back in every way in my life. It wasn't just the physical side. I mean, the physical side you minimize when you get morbidly obese. You believe that you can cover up the weight with your dark colored clothing. Black was my color of choice. Everything that I wore was designed to hide me. And when I wasn't, trying to cover up what I was wearing, I just was trying to hide away from people because food just called my name every day. And it was this challenge that I faced that I knew was stopping me. It was ultimately going to stop me from living. But at the time it was stopping me from a lot more than that. And people say, well, how can it be that much more than living? Well, if you're morbidly obese, you know what I'm talking about. And a lot of you out there are like I probably was. You didn't want to say the word obese, much less morbidly obese. But guys, look it up. Don't take my word for it. It is just a statistic. And you can argue with BMI tables. You can say that you're big boned. You can say you've got large shoulders. You can say that you carry your weight well. But if you're 304 pounds on a 5'11" frame, you're morbidly obese unless you're going to be winning a Mr. Universe contest or Mrs. Universe contest, which I wasn't in the running, I can assure you. And so that day, it was really like my body was trying to reach me. I wrote this email this afternoon. I've been trying to reach you because I wrote it to several people that I have been trying to reach. But it reminded me that my body was trying to reach me. It was trying to give me a wake-up call. And I believe it was God trying to give me a wake-up call that I'd been ignoring for decades. And it's just crazy that what I did, and this may be you, it may not be you, but what I did for a long period of time was I made jokes about my weight. I laughed about it while I was secretly dying inside. I realized, I thought that I had forever to get my weight off. I could just go ahead and have one more big meal and I'd be fine. I mean, how many times did I go on a diet that the week before the diet I ate like crazy because I knew I was going to be on a diet, so I had to eat everything in sight? When it's so stupid. I mean, how dumb is that? And I would do that, and I'll last on the diet maybe a few hours, maybe a few days, maybe a few weeks, maybe even a few months, and ultimately to come crashing down when some event came along that caused me to decide that I needed to get back on, that I couldn't do the diet, that the diet was the problem. And And then in 2017, I just realized that it wasn't the diet that was stopping me from losing weight. It was me. It was the thinking between my two ears. And I set out on this journey that was not planned. It was not, it was not easy, but 260 days after I got on that scale and saw 304 pounds, I'd lost 129 pounds. And I don't say that to impress you. I don't say that. I say it really to impress upon you that it was always possible. My body was crying out that it had been trying to reach me for so long. And what's been really probably the most incredible piece of that journey is that while it's nice getting back into 32s, 33s, 34s, you know, depending on the cut of the trousers, it's nice, you know, walking by a mirror and not just being completely ashamed of how I look. It's nice when my kids, you know, come in and they're not embarrassed about how I look because I was so fat and they didn't want to bring friends over. It's not just about, I don't worry anymore about dying young. Now I could get hit by the Domino's pizza driver tomorrow, but I'm not going out because I'm obese anymore. I got the weight off. Was it easy? Heck no. Was it worth it? Yes. But it's really about, you know, all the people that we touch along the way. And what's interesting to me and now today I actually work with individuals who struggle with obesity, and I never tell them what to eat. I never tell them what exercises to do, because that's never the problem. If that were the problem, you would already have a very, very small waist. And like I like to say, the 32-inch waist with six-pack abs for the men, or ladies, you be in a size 4. It's never what to eat. You already know. It's the doing it that's the hard part. And that's what I focus on. And that's what my whole Rethink Dieting program is. And I don't say this to be, you know, manipulative. I just say it to wake up. Your body's been trying to reach you. And it's very likely that over the last 3 or 4 weeks, you probably put on a good bit of weight. It's the time of year where a lot of people do. Maybe you started at a low number and it's not that big a deal, but maybe you started at 150 pounds overweight and you gained another 20. So now you're 170. So when is it going to be too late? When is it going to be too late for you? When will you miss your window of opportunity to get your weight off? When's it going to happen? I mean, we're coming up on the beginning of the year where I always, you know, was going to lose weight. That was always my New Year's resolution. I'm going to make that resolution. I'm going to get that weight off. And like I said, it would last a few hours, maybe a few days, maybe a few weeks. And if I was really, really good, a few months. But it would always come crashing back on me. And so these videos, I feel like are a negative perspective, but they're really not. I mean, I want you to know that it's possible, because I was the worst of the worst. And I see men every day that I work with. I primarily work with men. And I see these men who didn't think they even knew what to eat. Suddenly they're figuring it out. Suddenly they're treating their body like it were the business that they were given. Like they were, you know, one of my clients said, if my body were a business, I'd be bankrupt. And so it was a great line. I told him I'd use it over and over again, but I don't want to give his name because the fact that, you know, privacy of you know, my work with him. But he said that he's right. I mean, if your body were a business, how many of them would be bankrupt? And so I was that way at 304 pounds. You might be 50 pounds overweight. You might be saying, how in the heck does somebody get to be 129 pounds overweight? 1 pound at a time. Just like you gained your 50. If you're 75 pounds, or if you're 100 pounds, or if you're 150 pounds, some of you guys are 200, 250 pounds overweight and you've given up. Well, don't. You know, I just, you know, I say this a lot of the time, bring me the hopeless ones. Bring me the ones that don't believe they can get it off. I mean, I help men that only have 50 to 75 pounds to lose. Some have 100, some have 200, 250 pounds to lose. But I love the ones that are hopeless, because I tell you, you don't need to be hopeless. You can get it off. What one man or woman can do, another man or woman can do. It's possible. And so as you go into this last week of the year and you're looking at, you know, your goals for next year, don't even think of it that way. Think about it from the perspective of what's it costing you? What's it costing you to be overweight? Not, what does it cost to get thin? What's it costing you to be overweight? Is it costing you 4, 5, 6, 7 years of your life ultimately? Is it costing you shame and embarrassment that's beyond belief? Because I've been there. It doesn't have to. It really doesn't have to. But, I know that it is. If you're 100 pounds overweight, I know that you're suffering. There's just no way you're not. And I've not met one person that wasn't suffering at some level. If you're looking for another diet, might I recommend Google? If you're looking to get your weight off and completely rethink dieting forever, reach out to me at transformmyfuture.com/apply. That's where we can book a totally free breakthrough session where you and I can get on the phone for 45 minutes to an hour and really map out a strategy for you to get your weight off and to see if it's what the holdup is with you getting your weight off. If you haven't had a chance to watch my video before you book that call, I'd recommend you go to rethinkdieting.com. That's rethinkdieting.com. I have a totally free video. It's I think it's exactly 48 minutes, I believe. And if you can stand to listen to me for 48 minutes, book a call and we'll have another discussion. And we're really, my biggest hope for you is that you understand that it is possible. You understand that your weight is costing you way more than your health. It's costing you in so many different ways. And so I just encourage you to jump on that video, rethinkdieting.com. If you've already watched it and want to schedule a breakthrough session with me, go to transformmyfuture.com/apply. I'd love to hear from you. Comment on this video. If I can ever be of service to you, do that. And guys, your body's trying to reach you. Pay attention. Don't keep ignoring it because eventually it's going to get your attention. Take care.